falling off my chair. There you go, we are live. Okay, we're on air. And Laura's here. Hi, Laura.
Hello.
And we'll just give a couple of seconds here to see who else is joining us. Nobody else yet, just three of us, you, me, and Laura. Oh, Dana's here. Hi, Dana. Oh, and Laura N is here. Hi, Laura. How are things going with teaching these days? I'm assuming that you're probably doing things online, of course. And while we wait for a few other people, we can tell you what today's hors d'oeuvres are. Today's hors d'oeuvres are real eclectic. We have pickles and crumpets, homemade crumpets that, well, didn't quite work out, with our baba ganoush and our hummus. Yep. Hi, Andy. Yeah, the beards are coming in.
Yeah, they're getting there.
They're getting there, yeah.
I'm very salt and pepper.
And I'm Santa White.
The last time I grew a beard was 25 years ago when it came in black.
Well, I can tell you your age. Laura says she's, it's okay, but it's pretty boring with her teaching right now. She's reading Othello and uploading audio files. Well, that's not a bad idea. I actually thought about doing some Shakespeare on my YouTube channel for kids and giving sort of like my little lectures I used to give when I was a teacher. But I don't know if I remember them.
But nobody would probably watch them anyway.
Well, my version of Romeo and Juliet.
The dirty version?
Yeah, the dirty version. And my version of King Lear, or...
There's a Teresa Basso, first time on chat.
Oh, hi, Teresa. First time on chat. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Don't worry, we only bite once, if you want us to. Yeah, what I used to call Macbeth, or not Macbeth, King Lear. Oh, yeah. Old man and his two ugly blisters, yeah. Actually, it's three ugly blisters, but one's a good blister. But whatever. Yeah, so anyways, so what's in our cocktail today, Walter?
Well, almost the same as it normally is, but it's frozen peaches, frozen mixed berries, frozen strawberries. They're all frozen. And a can of apple cider. That's why it tastes appley.
Oh, I didn't notice it was appley.
And
yeah, appley.
And what else? What was it? Ice, and a little bit of
any booze in it?
Just whatever's in the apple cider. Oh. And what was it?
I don't know.
What's that syrup that we have?
Oh,
agave. Because I thought it was a little sour.
For some reason, there's a notification there. It wasn't disappearing off the screen.
It's whatever we have in the house that you can throw in the blender.
Yeah. So if it blends, we drink it. Yeah. Hey, there would be a good YouTube video. If it blends, drink it. Laura's using PowerPoint for the lessons and upload the assignments. Yeah, I'm sure it would be boring. Well, I know from firsthand experience from those years that I taught online too. I always found it kind of boring as well. I like to entertain. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, we thought we'd talk about finances and how that's affecting us and probably other people out there, and how we'll be affected by that after this thing is over with, if it's ever going to end. But before we do that, general updates. So here in Ontario, I guess in Canada, is what we commonly refer to as the 2-4 weekend, which is May the 24th, although this is May the 17th, but it's always the weekend closest to, without being passed, the 24th of May. And It's basically the Victorian weekend, and it was created, 100 years ago or longer, longer than 100 years, to honor Queen Victoria's birthday. So it is technically a long weekend right here. Every weekend's a long weekend these days, isn't it? I mean, no big difference. And I said to Walter last night, I wonder if there's anybody selling fireworks because of all of this right now.
Well, technically, all the municipalities have banned fireworks this year, but
Somebody
this is usually a fire week.
Yeah, there's usually fireworks.
Firecracker weekend.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
And then later on in July 1st, where it's Canada Day, and that also seems to be a firecracker weekend.
Yeah. Well, there were firecrackers last night somewhere, because when I went to bed at around close to 11 o'clock, I could hear them in the distance going off. So somebody must have had some fireworks, either left over from last year, or they got them from somewhere and were firing them up probably from their backyard or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, every day's a long weekend, isn't it, for most of us? I mean, I suppose not so much for those people that are still have to work, especially the essential.
I actually was able to take my car in yesterday to get my
snow tires off?
taken off and get an oil change.
Well, we had snow last weekend. Not a lot. And it melted very quickly, but so, a lot of people took their snow tires off a lot sooner than that. But
I would have had to take them off a lot sooner than that. Then all this stuff started happening, and
well, yeah. So what was different this time when you went in to do it? Like, how did they do the social distancing?
Well, it was pretty much the same, other than the fact that the guy was sitting at his desk with a plastic shield in front.
Mm. Oh, right, do you have plexiglass around this?
Yeah.
Well, usually when you take the car into Honda anyways, you go into the bay and you get out of the car and they take it from there.
Well, he just grabbed my keys and was the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to give him my keys, but so I was closer than 6 feet with him, but
why don't you just leave them in the ignition?
because mine don't sit in the.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. You have one of those newfangled cars, which aren't so new, but newer than mine. I mean, my car's at 2008, so mine does not have a keyless start or entry or anything like that.
Yeah, this is my car key.
Well, I'm sure most people, if they bought a car in the last 5 years, probably know what that is. Whereas my car is like, what, 11 years old now? 12 years old.
Technically, there is a key in there.
Mm.
You can flip it out, and I guess if you get stuck somewhere, then you can use actually the key. That's the key.
Well,
the key
didn't know
is
that.
actually in there.
Well, that's interesting. Laura says lots of fireworks were heard last night here in Guelph. The city is still allowing them, and the local fireworks place had curbside pickup this weekend. Chris says we had a public holiday in our local area town for show day, but the show did not go on, and that was on Friday. Show day. What's show day?
That's Australia.
Yeah, I know it's Australia, but
what is show day?
yeah, what is show day? Inquiring minds want to know. So, anyways, speaking of inquiring minds, let's talk about my mother. Like you care. So I got a phone call from the nursing home yesterday. My mother had thrown up twice during the day. I went, oh. But they said, oh, she's fine. We're getting some fluids into her, and she says she's feeling okay now. Well, the problem is my mother does this every so often. She likes to throw up. It never seems to be anything anybody can detect that there's anything wrong with her, and she seems to be perfectly fine within an hour later or so. Now, I think part of it may stem from the fact that my mother does suffer from a slight bout of depression, more brought on by her own self than anything else. And she was on some antidepressants for a while, but just a very mild amount of them. And I noticed the last few times that I've been getting the record of her meds that those medications have not been on there. So I guess they took her off that. So I wondered if she was, and I said this to the person who phoned, did maybe she's going through a little bit of depression, because this is one of the signs.
There, we also got a call, was it about a week ago, that they did have one case of
Oh, yeah.
COVID-19 in her home.
Yeah,
But they isolated the individual
very quickly.
quickly, and we haven't heard anything else, any other cases coming out.
No, and he also said that the case that came back was tested again and it came back negative.
Yeah, so it was,
But they're
came
keeping
back
them
as
in
one
quarantine.
positive case, and then it was later tested as negative.
So they didn't really say one way or the other. It sounded like it might have been a false positive, but just to be on the safe side, they were quarantining that person for 2 weeks and keeping them removed from everybody else in the home. And they had special staff cleaners that were dedicated just to that person's wherever they put them. And the staff were all gowning up in the whole bit every time they had to do anything with this person. My mother got tested and the results came back and they were negative. In fact, they haven't had any other cases of it. They've all been negative so far, which is a good thing. And Chris is answering. Each area here has a show day, annual event, like a huge fair, I guess, rides, show bags, animals, fruit, veggie, animal, art, craft competitions, quite large. Hi, Anita. Yes, we have beards. This is just not quite 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm at, Thursday was 1 week, so it's a little over a week.
Mine will be 2 weeks Tuesday. So, actually I kind of like it, but I need a haircut. Desperately need a haircut.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, well, might need a job.
I haven't had a beard. I had a beard 25 years ago. It was nice and black then. Now it's not so black.
I've never known him without.
I've toyed with growing one over the years again, but I haven't. But until he started growing one, I said, okay, I'm growing one.
You're so fuzzy. Maybe if you grow it long enough, you can just put it on your head.
Yeah, maybe. I could do the Donald Trump comb over.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting there on top now. I can almost comb over.
Oh, good. Flapping in the wind. No doubt. But actually, he doesn't look bad in a beard. I remember way back when he had a beard. But I have never seen him without a mustache, and that's divorce court if he ever loses the mustache. Because I like a mustache. And I've never grown one. Well, that's not true. I grew a mustache. When I first started teaching, I decided to try and grow a mustache. And at that point in time, my hair was not the color it is now. It was more like a light brown kind of a thing. And I couldn't, my mustache came in very, very light and thin. So it was almost transparent. So my hairdresser at the time recommended that I get a little bottle of Nice and Easy. You know, Nice and Easy was that home hair coloring thing by Clairol or somebody, and take just a little bit amount of that and a little brush and just once a week just go over my mustache to darken it up. Well, I tried that and it worked. I mean, still it was kind of on the thin side though, as far as it wasn't a very bushy mustache. And then one day in school, this is why I stopped doing it, a kid said to me, "Sir, why is it on Mondays your mustache is darker than it is on Fridays?" So the kids obviously noticed that there was, because the dye was coming out of it, right, every time I take a shower. So I stopped doing that. And I never tried to grow a beard or a mustache ever again. And that was, 40 years ago, almost. So I just decided a couple of weeks ago, hey, let's give it a go and see what can happen. Well, it's definitely coming in a lot better than years ago. Of course, it's all coming in white, but I knew that would happen. And that's okay, I don't mind it. But yeah, we'll see. It's something different.
I always knew that after about 4 or 5 days, it was always, you hit the itchy stage. But actually, I haven't had an itchy stage. I think the white hair is a little fluffier than the dark hair is.
Yeah, Laura says Pickering Village Home is where it's so bad was my grandmother's home. Oh yeah, they had it horribly. This is a nursing home not far from where we live, another couple of towns over, and they were just like riddled with it. It was pretty much, I think it might have been worse than the one in Bob Cajun, that all the...
Yeah, actually, I think they had 60 deaths in that one in Pickering.
Yeah, so yeah, that was a horrible thing. Anita says Santa Claus, yeah. Anita says, I get a haircut and color on Friday. It's been 11 weeks. Oh, yes, Americans, you're opening everything up. So, Anita, have they told you what you need to do in order to go in and get this kind of stuff done? Like, are you being told you have to wear a mask, and are they limiting, how many people are in the salon and stuff like that? Laura says 71 deaths now in Pickering. So it's up to 71 now.
Yeah, there was the Jesuit home or whatever had about eight deaths or something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. Anyways, they are talking here too, as of Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, there's going to be a few places opened up. They've already opened up garden centers, and they're opening up, or may have opened up already, golf courses. Yeah, that's essential. I think there might be a couple of other things, but they're doing it very slowly, and they're doing it in a very controlled way, which I think is good. I still think it's too early to be opening up any place where you can go in. I mean, yeah, I would like to get my hair cut too professionally again, but you want to know something? I'm not risking it. I mean, my hairdresser is probably, struggling because, she's an independent person. And I know that if I called her up, she would probably come to the house and cut my hair, but I'm not putting her or myself or Walter that in harm's way. I mean, you don't know. You could be asymptomatic, they're saying now.
You'd think that hairdressers would be a good person to pass stuff on because they see so many people.
Yeah. And they're in close confines. I mean, in the salon she works in, there's about 6 hairdressers in there. And there's people coming and going all the time. It gets quite busy. And it's a small place. It's not like you've got, many, many feet apart from people. In fact, she one day, back before any of this happened, she had a really bad cold. Actually, I think she might have had the flu, a mild case of flu. And I said to her, she'd taken a couple of days off and had canceled my appointment and rebooked it for a few days later. And I asked her, I said, did you get the flu shot? And no, she didn't get around to getting that. And I said, you probably shouldn't be here with this. And this was all before the COVID thing. But she's caught between a rock and a hard place because her livelihood depends on, if she doesn't have any customers, if she's not cutting hair, she's not getting any money. So what do you do? Laura says it's by appointment for stores, yeah. And Anita says, I heard that masks to be worn, and if color put on, you go back to your car to wait. Oh, okay.
Well, Invitee thoughts that they have relaxed some of their isolation rules, and we were allowed to open cafes and restaurants. But that's Australia.
Yeah.
Australia didn't get it as bad.
No, Australia didn't have as many cases as a lot of places in the world too. But even still, the restaurants, I don't know. I mean, here they're talking about allowing in Toronto, loosening the laws on having outdoor patios for the warmer weather so that people can be spread out more. I don't know. I'm wondering how many people, well, maybe Chris, you can answer this because Australia already has their restaurants open. How many people are actually going?
They said they are only allowing 10 people or 11 people in at a time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Even still, I would be apprehensive right now.
They get that wrong.
What? Where are you reading this?
I don't know. 10 customers to each venue at a time, she says.
Well, that would mean 10 and in a restaurant at a time, yeah. Oh, hi, Bonnie. We have also, Chris says they've also opened up hairdressers, beauty salons, etc. We have had no new cases in a while now in our area. If cases increase dramatically, they will pull back a little. Yeah, that's what they're saying in ours as well, but we've had some new cases. They have dropped a little bit, but funny thing here in Ontario is that the numbers don't always seem to jive because there was one day last week or something, I think it was just after, I think it might have been Monday, the cases were down to 200 and something new cases. Next day they were back up to 300 and something, and they said, yeah, there was a glitch in the way that they
Well,
calculate
the
the
other
number of
thing
cases.
that I have a problem with Ontario is that they seem to have this huge backlog of cases that they haven't
Yeah,
resolved or haven't had their results of their tests. So
And our
are they just selectively picking for 300 a day? That
well, I wouldn't put it past our government in Ontario because with Mini Trump in as our premier,
Bonnie
yeah.
said New Brunswick is open. Is also open to restaurants, 50%, pubs, etc. But they're COVID free, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I don't think you've had any new cases for a
Yeah.
bit now. Anita says our country has the highest number of positive cases. Yes, we know. What did I see today or something, or yesterday? Something like 88,000 deaths or something.
And the thing is, that even our country, your country, all the countries in the world, that's only the ones that they've tested positive.
Yeah.
There's piles of people out there that are asymptomatic that probably haven't been tested, and so you don't really know, just because, like somebody said, I heard somebody say or saw somebody write something on Facebook, yeah, but there's only like 100 cases in our area. Well, there's 100 cases that have tested positive.
Yeah.
There isn't necessarily just 100 cases.
No. I'm just trying to catch up here.
Teresa Basil.
Yeah, in fact, we have tried to increase business for sustainability. And Chris says we have to try and increase business for sustainability. Yeah, I know, it's a hard rock to place. Is it worth dying for? That's what I'm going to say about it. I mean, now we're at a stage in all of this where I think we try to rationalize this.
Yeah, but the thing is that you keep saying that for the cases, the whole thing for any of the countries doing this is like, what do you call it, isolating and stuff, is to reduce the numbers in the hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
They're not they figure that 80% of the population is going to get it eventually.
Yeah, I know that. But the thing is, right now, what I was going to say is everybody's been isolated for over 2 months, and that warmer weather here is happening in our country. People are itching, they want to get out. And when they get out, when they hear something's open, they may start being very cautious. But then things will start to get lax. Like you go out one night and you have dinner, you're probably all nerved up and worried about the whole thing. But then you come home and you go, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. You know, we survived that. And then you go again. And then things get a little bit laxer. And then bang, we get hit with the second wave. So I don't know. I don't know what you do.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Anyway, we were yakking about this anyway.
Yeah.
So, Anita says she worked out in the yard, geraniums all weekend. Today her husband and her walked to get an iced coffee. Mask worn, enter in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that here too with like Tim Hortons or thing. We do not have Chris's people wearing mask gloves out and about, as our medical reps have advised that could inhibit normal immunity buildup, so we have requested that only immune compromised wear masks. We haven't heard that kind of thing here yet. But says we do have to be careful not to swamp the hospital so that ICUs are capable of handling case with ventilators. Yeah. And one thing I don't think, Laura says, is known just yet is whether or not one is immune after they've had it, so we can get again like a common cold.
Seems to, why are they taking so long to figure that out?
I don't know. I don't know why.
You would think that a healthcare professional, if they have gotten it once, they would know soon enough that somebody could get it a second time.
I guess, but maybe it's the nature of the beast. I don't know. We don't know. Anita says Ohio's numbers are going up every day. That's not good. But anyway, so we are going to come around in a moment or two and talk a little bit about the economics of all of this too.
Like, actually, what was interesting, when I was at Honda yesterday, I have a Honda, so to get my...
Do you? Do you have a Honda?
Yeah, to
Really?
get my tires put on. I decided, instead of waiting in the waiting room with other people, I decided to go for a walk. So I noticed the businesses around there, like there's a Starbucks, and there's a Tim Hortons, and there's that Big Boy burger.
Oh, that
stuff.
burger place, yeah.
Yeah, it was hopping. There were people going in and out of there all the time.
Okay. Well, I don't know, maybe I'm just paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid right now to keep safer than sorry. I mean, after all, we are in the age group, supposedly.
High risk. Yeah.
Yeah, high
well,
risk.
Not, well, high risk in that we're
Of
above
our
60.
age. Yeah, our age. But anyway, so we'll come back to talk about from the economic point of view in a minute, but let's talk about um, what I did this week. I made this. I'll be showing this in more detail on my vlog tomorrow, but I'm really pleased with it. It is a road trip bag. It's ironic because there won't be any road trips for a while. It's got a strap and the whole bit, and I've had this pattern for over a year, and I've been afraid to attempt it because I thought it might be beyond me. And actually, it wasn't that hard. You've got these fancy little pockets on the front and everything, and there's a little fancy pocket on the back, and it's all lined and everything. And yeah, I'm really thrilled with this. I might make another one, or I might not make anything ever again. And you're probably going to say, why is that? Well, guess what? I got back my sewing machine, my big sewing machine, my embroidery sewing machine. Yesterday, went down, it was fixed, they had to order a part, the part came in, they got it all fixed up, ready to go. I dropped $200 on having that thing done, got it home, tried it out this morning to do some embroidery. No, not going to happen. It was doing all, and I'll save you the long elaborate story because it is a long and elaborate story, but essentially I can't embroider with it. It is still not working the way it's supposed to. And I am ticked royally. I have spent a lot of money, not just on buying that machine, but on the number of repairs I've had done on it over the last, how long have I had it? 2 years? Has it been 2 years now?
Yeah.
I bought it about late 2018, something like that. And when I first bought the machine, it was working like, well, I had a few minor little bumps and bruises along the way, but that was normal, kind of a deal. You expect that. But ever since the major breakdown that I had there a month ago, and even after having it fixed twice in that time, it is not. So I wrote a really long little email to my Janome dealer, the lady I deal with all the time. I don't expect to hear from her today or even Monday, but that's fine. But I basically told her everything that happened with it. It's a very long email. I started the email off by saying, you might want to grab yourself a cup of coffee or something stronger and sit in a comfortable chair because this is going to be a long email. And I detailed exactly what's happening, what I did to try to get around it, the whole bit. And bottom line is, I almost threw the machine out the window. I am not a happy camper. I mean, you have to remember, this machine cost me, it retails at $14,000. I paid $7,500 for it. And I'm ticked. I just bought another new sewing machine to the tune of $2,000. But it doesn't embroider. And this one does. And this one also has the wider throat for quilting and all the other stuff. And I'm ticked. I am majorly ticked right now. So I've thrown the ball in her court. I don't know what she can do for me, but she's going to have to do something because I'm on a mission now. So anyways, I'm not happy camper, as you can probably tell. Oh yeah, oh Anita, there were words. Oh yes, words, and none of them had the little symbols in them. They were the full-blown words. I can tell you that. And yeah, well, Bonnie, you want to know something? I said today, Berninas are sounding a lot better right now because I did some research on this problem I'm having, and apparently this is related to a similar problem that people have been having with Janome since 2015, and Janome's done nothing about it.
It's 2 years, about 2 years old.
Yeah, it's about 2 years old, just.
I need to know I didn't start another shirt. I was finishing another bag before I started another shirt.
Yeah.
I have lots of fabric for shirts, so I was going to do a short sleeve shirt this time.
I was just about tempted. Well, I kind of said it in my email. I said, you know, Walter's got the 550E, which just is an embroidery machine. It doesn't do sewing. And he's had no problems with it since he got it.
But I don't use it as much as you do.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter how much one uses it. I mean, it's not like I'm abusive, and I'm not abusive to it. In fact, I look after machines better than the average person.
You were using that all the time, like day in, day out.
Yeah. And why should
there's no guarantee that the 550 will hold up after the amount of abuse that you do.
You're so supportive. Asshole. Anyways.
The warranty is a 1-year warranty, so.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It's just stupid, yeah.
You know, when you pay that much money on a machine, a 1-year warranty. Yeah, right. But anyways, my representative from Janome that I see all the time, she's usually very, very good. So this will be putting her to a test right now to see what she can come up with on this. Yeah, Laura, you're right. You should not be having that many breakdowns with a machine that young. I hope you get resolution fast. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. First of all, you got to wait until this person answers my email, and she is infamous for not answering her emails. But I have her phone number, her personal phone number. I'll give her until about the middle of next week. If I don't hear anything by Wednesday, then I will be giving her a call about it. Yeah, Laura, you're pretty much right about that. There will be hell to pay. I mean, I always get the lemon, okay? That's the story of my life. I always buy the lemon. In fact, it runs in my family. My father used to always say, yeah, Blands, we always get the lemons, no matter what. Other people can have the same bloody stuff, never have a single worry about it. We get it, and bang, if it's going to break down, and it's not because we abuse it.
Yeah, Bonnie, yes, we do have other company dealers in the area, but actually she's kind of the best one to go to.
Yeah, she's the best one.
Because she is actually the one that sells the most.
And it's not her fault. It is not her fault, okay? But she's the person that I have to go through. You can't contact Janome on their own. They will not answer you. In fact, I was reading some forums today, actual Janome forums. They're on the Janome site. They don't even get answers, and people were complaining about that even Janome themselves will not handle what people are asking in the forum.
Yeah, Dana, yeah, I guess I'm a lemon because I'm not perfect.
Yeah, unlike a sewing machine though, I can't take him back to his maker. They don't want him either. So whatever. Sometimes you can live with a lemon, okay? You just need to squeeze it every now and then. But in this case with a sewing machine, that's not true. Just seeing what people are saying. But anyways, I'll let you know what happens.
The only problem with the one that he goes to is that she is a little disorganized and she doesn't always answer her emails.
No.
That's the only problem. But there's lots of people that are like that in business. So
she's a very good person. She's a very good rep for Janome. She's very successful in her business. You know, like, I'm not saying anything against her about this because it's not her fault. But she's the person I have to go to.
She actually would be the best person to go to because she has a fairly direct link with Janome.
She has a very good pull with Janome because she's one of their top salespeople as well. So, anyways, problems of the first world, right? So, you saw my bag. Oh yeah, I'm also trying to get my hands on, well, I've got an order in, but with the same person for the Artistic Digitizer, which is Janome's software, very expensive software that helps you design your own embroidery designs. And I think I mentioned last week
that... Of course,
that,
if your machine doesn't
yeah, I know, if my machine doesn't work, then... and it's like $1,000 program. So, like, really, in the last 2 months, the money I've been throwing at this store is, like, you'd think I had it.
Still haven't gotten a bill for your new machine yet.
No, I haven't. And maybe that's a convenient thing right now. I might hold her hostage. No, I won't hold her hostage, but it may be some negotiation there. Who knows? But anyways, so What have you been working on? Anything?
I got that bag. I haven't finished the bag yet.
Oh, did you show anybody that last week?
I'm not sure. I did I did that embroidery on the front.
Oh, you haven't done anything more with it?
Well, no, I've been working on it. It's there. Did the handles yesterday.
Oh,
I
okay.
just don't do like you and go like nuts doing everything. I had to go out and get my car fixed. I had to go and pull the weeds out of the lawn. Not like you would do that.
It's the world's tiniest violin.
Yeah, had to go to dinner.
Oh, poo on that. Like your crumpets?
I made crummy crumpets.
He made crummy crumpets. Well, they weren't that bad. They just, well, they didn't quite come out crumpet-like. They came out more like German pancakes. But maybe another time. The secret might have been not to put them in the fridge overnight. That might, the batter. I don't know. But that lady on the YouTube said you could. What's Bonnie got? Bonnie says, I have the Premiere Plus 2 digitizing program. They are fun, Stephen. You will love doing that. If I have a machine I can do it on. Yes. I am sure I will.
Anita said she went to Joann's.
Oh, to buy fabric for my shirt yet?
Not ready to buy fabric for her shirt yet.
Bought an art magazine instead. Oh. Anyways, so we have been talking a little bit about them opening up things in the province and kind of covered that topic.
We've been buying fabric online.
Yeah, we've been buying a lot of fabric online. There's
We
Stash.
found a place up in Newmarket that's not too far from us that will ship. You'll get it in 2 days when they ship it. And then there's another one in Uxbridge where I'm still waiting for my package, and it's 2 weeks ago. I think Canada Post is screwed up really bad.
Yeah, because you had a tracking number, right?
Yeah, I did. It somehow ended up in Newmarket, and it still hasn't come back. It was supposed to be delivered by May 14th, and on May 15th it still said to be delivered on May 14th.
Well, they were a little slow getting my order out too, but I had to send them an email, and they apologized that they were backed up a little bit.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
same with me. I had to send them an email too after a week, and then they said, oh, yeah, there was shortages on a couple of the fabric amounts that I wanted, and they forgot to send the send message when they wrote me the email.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people forget to push send when they write an email?
Yeah, that's a little suspicious.
It's
But the problem you're having right now has nothing to do with
No,
them.
it hasn't with
That's
them.
with
They
Canada
eventually they got right on it and emailed it, but then Canada Post has somehow. I mean, Uxbridge is not that far away. Could drive there in 20 minutes, but they shipped it via Newmarket. I have not quite figured that out.
Newmarket is an hour away from us, and it's up at the very north of Toronto. So you know, who knows how this works.
Canada Post is weird because we live on a street, and it has a
Good for us. We live on a street. We don't live in a swamp.
It has a very
That's
unique
nice.
name, and that name, there's a street in another municipality in Ontario that has the same name, but the numbering system is different. And I have seen, it's in Mississauga. I have seen
Mississauga is on the far side of Toronto from us.
I have seen some things that I've purchased go out for delivery in Mississauga. And then all of a sudden it ends up back at the postal office in Mississauga.
It must really confuse them because it's the same street name, but the
Different
numbers don't go up as high.
It's a different postal code.
Yeah, different postal code, yeah, for sure.
And which is like zip code. And it's like somebody at the post office says, oh, I know where that street is, and then throws it into the Mississauga bin.
Yeah, Anita says, could you do curbside pickup? Actually, you can.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, this has to do with my paranoia about going out, but I think maybe that might be the route to go.
Well, actually, when I ordered from them, they didn't have curbside pickup. They do now.
And Bonnie says, hi Mel. Bonnie says, I ordered from Hamels in BC and it's been out a month and I'm getting agitated.
Actually, we ordered some stuff from a place in Newmarket called the Quilt Shop. And they charge you $12.99 for shipping, but you get it in 2 days.
Yeah. bang, they're really quick. And I just ordered some stuff from BC as well, from one called Woven, Woven Modern Fabrics. And they're on an island off of Vancouver's coast. And now they shipped it really quick, but they did say it would probably take anywhere between 7 to 10 days or so, or 5 to 13 days to get it. Well, last I looked, I've got a tracker on it for Canada Post. Last I saw, it had just left Richmond, BC, and I ordered it on middle of last week. But I expected it to take a while. And they were actually really upfront about how long. And so, I'm within their time confines right now, so I'm watching it. But it gets you a little unnerved when you're looking at those tracking things from Canada Post and nothing's happening, and you wonder, what are they doing? Are they all going through my parcel and trying on my fabric, or what? With it, it just makes you wonder. Well, it's Canada Post. It's not the best in the world, I can tell you that. Yeah, that's what I figured, Bonnie. $12.99 was worth it.
They do have it. They charge you extra if it's really extra heavy. I think it's
Yeah.
over 10 kilograms. It's more. But
And Anita's waiting on 2 tubs of watercolor paint from Blix. And you want to know something? Right now, all of them are saying, oh, yeah, we're going to take a little longer to get it to you because of the COVID thing. I sometimes think that's a very convenient excuse, because in regular times before any of this, some of these places were as slow as that anyways.
like I phoned my bank a couple of times during this epidemic thing, and I go through all the voicemail messages, and it says, our wait times are longer, especially now, blah, 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 blah. And then I got somebody on the line right away.
Well, maybe they put that up there and that scares some people off. So the ones that are really, really want some action done, they're the ones that are going to take more serious. I don't know. Of course, I might be just rationalizing all of their motives. Dana says, Canada Postage and Storage. Yeah, that's a good name for it.
Yeah, and don't try and phone Air Canada. It says
Okay.
their wait time is between an hour and 45 minutes and 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll get some stupid dip on the line anyways. Go,
Oh,
hello?
I can't do that now.
Hello? I know not how to do this. Thank you very much. Just give me a moment. My goat has gotten into the house. I have to get out, goat. Get out, goat. Am I being racist? No, I'm just being real about that. But anyways, so I have a note here. It says bag milk. Walter wanted me to put on our agenda bag milk. I don't know why. So take it away.
Well, no, it was like we were talking about things that were unique to Canada, or unique to our province anyway.
Yeah, because not all Canada has bagged milk.
And I guess we're one of the few provinces that have bagged milk. You buy milk in bags.
Yeah, I know. I live in this province. We've been buying milk in bags since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So for 100 years.
Yeah, so we have bagged milk.
Bagged milk. I don't know. I know, Dana, you don't have bagged milk out in the West, do you? I don't think you do. Bonnie, do you have it in East Coast? Bagged milk?
Yeah.
This is what a bag of milk looks like.
Milk. Actually, this one's sealed still, so I can pull back. No, I can't pull back.
Anita goes, what? Yes, Anita, this is news to you? This is bagged milk. And this isn't a new invention. We've had milk in the bag since the 70s.
Actually, this is still sealed, so I can... You cut a hole in the top when you're...
You have to have one of these little containers. Okay, now you jam the milk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good. That just came through the microphone really nice. Bonnie says they have bagged milk.
Yeah.
But Anita does not. They do not have it, I guess, in Ohio.
We have bagged chocolate milk.
Anita says we have boxed wine. Yeah, we have that too. And we have lots of it, believe me. Right now, yep. And Laura says, that's one thing that drove me nuts about moving to Ontario. So dumb. I don't
think so. I like it.
Actually, maybe just because we're so used to it. But when I was a kid, back before they had bagged milk, we used to buy our milk at a store called Becker's. It was a convenience store. And, well, you get it in other stores too, but my family would usually buy it at Becker's. And because we were all kids, we drank a lot of milk. So we'd get 3-liter jugs, I think, in those days. But the jug was a big jug with a handle on it, and those were kind of awkward. I remember many times spilling the milk out of one of those. Now, mind you, you can spill the milk out of the bag too, um, with it as well. But yeah, it's not that bad. I wonder if it's better for the environment than having jugs or cartons. I don't know, because they're in plastic bags.
Well, actually,
so-
what happens? You get 3 of those in a bag. Yeah, you buy a bag of milk, and it's
and it comes in another bag.
It's 4 liters, but you get 3 bags like that size. So the bag is actually like a liter and a third or something.
Dana says they don't have bag milk in Saskatchewan. No, I didn't think. Not all provinces have it.
No,
I don't know why we're so special. Why?
It was an invention by DuPont.
Oh,
And we had a big DuPont factory in Canada at one point, and it stuck ever since.
but anyways, to us it's just second nature. Buy milk in a bag. You can get chocolate milk in the bag too. Let's see. Laura says Becker's. Oh my God, I remember that too. Oh, not a spring chicken, are you, Laura?
Actually, Bonnie, you said you had to mix yellow coloring in with your margarine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, there was a point in time in Canada that said that margarine had to be colored a different color than butter, because so that you wouldn't mix the two up. And now I guess it can be colored the same color as butter.
Yeah.
So
I remember hearing about that, but I don't ever remember. Well, my mother never bought margarine, so that might have been one thing. But I never remember ever seeing that.
no.
So, but I remember people talking about it.
My mother never would buy margarine either. Actually, she only ever bought margarine sometimes to cook with, but that she never used it to spread.
Now, Mel says in Finland they've had those bags since the 60s and the 70s too. So that's interesting. It blows the Americans' minds though. We talk about bagged milk. They just, well, look at Anita. She did what? So that's kind of like, whoa. So if we ever want to make an American shut up, we hold up a bag of milk. What's this?
Well, actually, Bonnie, there are some varieties of margarine that you can get here that is white as well, especially soya margarine. I think that you can get is white.
Laura says we had bagged milk in BC, but once 4-liter hugs came out, gone went the bags. 4-liter, I think you mean jugs, right? I would assume 4-liter jugs.
Wow,
Oh,
that's big.
how do you lift those with a crane?
Oh, yeah. How do you fit it in your fridge?
Yeah, how do you fit it in your fridge? One thing about bagged milk is you can stack them in your fridge.
Well, actually, since this COVID thing started, we've been buying it and freezing it.
Yeah. It looks a little gross when you freeze
Yeah, I know.
it.
When you freeze it, it turns yellow.
Yeah, but that as soon as it thaws out, it's okay with that. And Bonnie says you have a choice of 4 bags or a quart. Okay. Bonnie says, sorry, 3 bags, I guess. Oh, okay. Laura says, my small town was so slow, we still got bottled milk delivery when I was a kid. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to have bottle delivery, too.
I mean, you can still buy milk in bottles. You can still buy milk in cartons, but usually it's less than...
What? You can buy milk in bottles?
Yeah, you can in plastic bottles.
Oh,
If you go over
okay.
to the convenience store, they sell it. In
Oh,
plastic
yeah,
bottles.
okay.
But anyway, or you can get it in cardboard cartons. But that's usually if you only want 1 liter or 2 liters.
Dana's just got a news flash here. One of the Snowbirds planes has crashed in Kamloops. Pilot ejected.
Ooh.
Ooh. That, I think I've told you the story about a student I had many, many years ago who eventually became a captain in the Snowbirds.
Sorry, I got an itchy nose.
And he was killed in a snowbird accident. They were in formation, and I guess the wing of his jet touched the wing of another one or something, and he went down and he was killed. And they named an elementary school in our area after him. And every the first day of school in September, the snowbirds fly over top of the school, like over in the airspace above the school, and they do what they call the missing man formation, where they're all in formation and one jet goes off to the side with it. There's a little bit more to that story, but I think I've told it before, so I'm not going to bother now, but because it's a bit involved. Laura finds jugs easier to handle. In Quebec, it is white, like lard. Oh, the butter. And after
Margaret.
Well, margarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel says after using them, people cut milk bags to strips and make bathroom carpets. Actually, yeah, when I was working at the craft store back a few years ago, they were collecting milk bags for a local church group, and they were making sleeping mats for people in Africa.
Well, I thought that was the outer bag that they were using.
Yeah, they were using the outer bag.
Like, normally we don't have the outer bag, but the milk comes in, 3 of those come in an outer bag. So that, a bag within a bag.
A guy I went to teachers college with many years ago, I was at his parents' home, went up to, he lived in another place away from us, and he was a Mennonite, but he was a modern Mennonite, which basically meant you couldn't tell them anything from any other group really, except that his mother, the Mennonites are very efficient and very thrifty people, and I really do mean thrifty, not cheap, thrifty. They do recycling and reusing before it was ever fashionable to do so. And his mother, I noticed on the kitchen when I went into their house at first, she had all these milk bags, the ones that actually have the milk in them, not the outer bag, but the bag like that Walter just showed you there. She had washed them all out and had them hanging up along her taps and things to drip dry. And I thought that was kind of weird. And I said to my friend, I said, so what's with the bags? And he says, oh, his mother uses them again for storing stuff like in the fridge. Like we use a Ziploc bag and stuff like that. She'd use those, which, you know, they're made out of pretty tough plastic.
Yeah, they are pretty tough.
And not such a bad idea. The only problem is, there's something. If we could invent a bag dryer
so
for milk bags.
Supposedly, well, I haven't tried it in a while, but they supposedly will sustain a certain drop from a certain height.
Oh, let's do that. Put it as a special video. Dropping milk bags. No, I'm not wasting milk on that. Let's see. Bonnie says we live close to the border, and in Maine they sell it by the gallon jug. And Laura gets milk in glass jars from Eby Manor Farms in Waterloo. So
is that pasteurized?
Is that
or
unpasteurized milk or pasteurized?
I know it's a big thing lately that people get unpasteurized, and I have no idea why you would want unpasteurized. But anyway, that's another.
Yeah, that's why they do that, Laura. And he says, oh no, sorry to hear about snowbirds. We lost a jet this week too, pilot ejected. And he says, my son is going to be based in Las Vegas for the next 2 years. He moves there this summer, and that is where the Thunderbirds are based. And I'm assuming the Thunderbirds are kind of the equivalent to the snowbirds. I think I have heard of them before. Laura says...
Pasteurized organic.
Oh, pasteurized organic. Oh, okay. But isn't all milk organic? Like, I have a problem with that word organic. We throw that word around left and right, and there's actually no standards for what is organic farming.
Well, you know, like it's sort of like grain fed. I used to work with a girl whose parents were chicken farmers, and there was like certain brands of chicken that would say, well, they're 100% grain fed, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Well, she said, all chickens in Ontario are grain fed, right? And there's have to be grain fed. And so the marketing is crap.
Yeah, because question is, do chickens eat chicken? No. Do cows eat beef? No. I mean, think about it. But you know, we use that word organic, and I mean, there's supposed to be a style of farming where they say, you know, they haven't used any hormones and pesticides and
inorganic fertilizer.
And that stuff and that.
But there's a certain amount of pesticides that are deemed as organic.
Yeah, so. I know. And how do you know they're not? For sure. You go to the grocery store, I think it's just an excuse. They slap the sign organic on it and charge you $3 more for a head of broccoli. You know, I don't know. My body is so used to chemicals from, living in the 20th century that, organic would probably make me
Cows
throw
are
up.
not given antibiotics and water pasture.
Eat
Actually,
grass, the grain is
technically, I don't drink a lot of milk,
Yeah.
and I use it for cooking.
But the other problem I have with that word organic is people use that word not just for food. They go, oh yeah, I was painting this picture, it was a very organic process. Or I was doing this yoga thing, it's very organic. Oh yeah, you gotta try this restaurant. It's just the whole ambiance of it is very organic. This is like using the word neat, I don't know, over and over. So, drives me crazy. Anyways, Laura says, yes, they do. The animals eat this mealy stuff that has the blood and entrails from other animals. Oh, gross. How about organic business growth? Yeah, what's that mean? Mixed in. Ooh, okay. Ooh, well, kind of putting me off meat. I'll get over it. Okay, so moving on here. What are we watching? 2 shows really like. There is a show on Prime. You have to have Amazon Prime to see it. It's called Upload. It's hilarious. Basic premise is just at the point when you're about to kick off, they can upload your subconscious and everything into a computer system and put you into a virtual world. Second, like if you've ever heard of Second Life, which was a computer kind of simulation game thing that was very popular a few years ago. But it's an interesting show. It takes a little while to get into it, but once you're in about the 3rd episode, you kind of get hooked. And the other show is, we've only seen a couple of episodes of it. It's called Sense8. And what I'm gathering from what we're watching is there's these 8 people that live in different spots in the world, but they're all tied together mentally. So they can see what other people are seeing, even though they may be thousands and thousands of miles away. And there's some crazy lady who shoots herself at the beginning of this that seems to be a connection for them all. It's a little weird. I'm not sure where it's going yet, but it's got good reviews, so that's why we started to watch it. And it's been on for a while. We're just started the 1st season, but I think there's already 3 seasons of it. 2 anyways, maybe 3. Now, if you want to see something that we just started watching last night and it's addictive, well, it's addictive one if you love cats. Okay, it's called Kittysaurus. And there's this woman. We're still trying to determine if she's Asian or what, because she doesn't show herself in the videos.
Her house is very neat.
A very clean place she lives in. She has
a small apartment.
Yeah, it looks like it. They have 7 cats, but most of them are long-haired cats, and they're beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful cats, and they're so well groomed and looked after. But she does little experiments with the kitties. Like, she sets up an obstacle course of paper cups in a hallway. They have to get down that hallway and see how they do it. And then there's all kinds of other things she does as well, kind of experimenting on her cats. They're not mistreated though, that's for sure. They seem to love this stuff. But being a cat lover,
actually, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Kittysaurus, like Kittisaurus.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Check it out because it's, especially if you love cats, you're going to be glued to it. Okay, Chris, don't go there then because you're not going to like it if you don't like cats.
And well, actually, I swear we don't watch regular TV. We only stream stuff.
Laura's watched it. She likes it. And he says, I have 6 cats. They train us. Yeah. Makes me want to get a cat again. But anyways, I don't know. I just, as I've said before, I don't think I'd go through to what we went through with Cleo at the end.
Well, besides that, she might outlive us.
That's true. Well, I hope not. I have a lot more things to do. I have a lot more people to bitch at. I have a lot more people to fight with yet about getting my money back on things. I finally finished reading Emma, which is a Jane Austen book. And you either love Jane Austen or hate Jane Austen. And I, for years, I hated Jane Austen, but I don't know why, because I had never read a Jane Austen. I just hated her.
You said you finished reading it?
I finished it. Yeah, it's a huge book. And it's not a Victorian novel. It's a is it Regency period, whatever, before Victorian era. Like it was written in the 1700s, kind of a thing. Is Jane Austen's period. So of course, one sentence is a paragraph long, and it's actually supposedly funny, but it's not humor the way 21st century humor works. It's a very highbrow, satirical kind of humor, comedy of manners, if you know what that is, that kind of stuff. But they made a movie of it, and I saw the movie, and they did a very good job of the movie. So if you don't
I
want
was
to,
bored.
if you don't, yeah, okay, well, if you don't want to read the book, watch the movie, or if you're like Walter, just go to sleep, whatever. Now I'm reading something totally different from that. I always like to read one kind of serious or challenging book, and then the next book I read is like a piece of pulp. And so I found this one called The Pharaoh Key by, I've never heard of this, it's a writing team called Preston and Child. Um, it had good reviews. Basically, it's a mystery treasure hunter thing, kind of, it's kind of an Indiana Jones like kind of deal. And I like those kind of books too. So that's what I'm reading right now. But as I said, it's probably.
I don't read books.
No. You read a book once. It was
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, it was read.
Yeah, it was read. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, that's what we're reading. So that takes us now up to the cost of COVID-19. So I have a feeling that some of you probably think that we are loaded. That we have a lot of money because we talk all the time about, like, I'm out there buying expensive sewing machines, and we're buying fabric online, and we're buying things from Amazon, and blah, 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 and we go on these trips, not anymore, and all this kind of stuff. No, we're not rich, but we are comfortable, okay? We're comfortable for a good reason. We both had good jobs because we both have really good educations. I mean, I went to school for a long time to become a teacher and to rise up in the ranks of being a teacher as well. Teachers' jobs in Canada are not the best paid jobs, but they're not the worst paid. Walter was a computer programmer.
Actually, you always made more money than I did, but
Well, that's because I'm worth more. But then again, I have 3 university degrees. How many degrees do you
I
have?
don't have any university degrees. I have 2-year college diploma.
He has a. I can hardly say the word. He has a diploma. Okay, whatever.
And lots and lots of courses that I've taken, industry courses
Yeah.
over the years.
But what we do have from those jobs are really decent pension plans. We paid into those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paid 12% of my salary every year.
Yeah, about 11%.
So we paid a lot of money into those pension plans. And they're both pension plans that have invested the money that they got in them, have managed it very well, especially the teacher's pension plan. It's one of the best in the world as far as how it's been managed and that kind of thing. So yeah, we're not getting a dime from anything our government gives out to people because we don't qualify for it. That's okay. All right, I'm not complaining about that. We're lucky. There's a lot of people aren't in that situation. They need the money. Simple as that. And I don't begrudge them a cent with that. However, what's this going to cost us? And it is going to cost us. And this is where I have a little bit of a problem. When it comes to tax time next year, I mean, the government has been pushing out billions of dollars, literally. For a government that was saying they were trying to pay down their deficit and all of this, now they just, every time you turn around, our government in Canada is rolling out another financial plan. More money, more money, more money. Well, yeah, they can literally print it, but we know that's not how it works. So they'll want to recover that money, won't they? How do governments recover their money? Through taxes. So I expect our tax bills next year and for years after that are going to be a lot higher, and our taxes are already high in this country for a long time. But here's the thing that I have a problem with. Now I know I'm going to get hit between the eyes with this one as being a selfish little pig. I'm going to be paying back more money that I never got in any of these plans. Now, what you're going to say is, yes, but you're doing it for the good of your country. You're doing it to help those that aren't in such a fortunate situation. Yeah, I get all of that, but I'm just not that big of a philanthropist about it all. But yeah, but it's going to cost, okay? That's going to cost. What else is going to cost us? Well, how about our food from the grocery stores? All of that's going to go up, right? And what? Somebody saying something here?
No, I'm just saying, Laura's saying millions of savings in education. Laura, are you not getting paid?
Yeah. I want to ask you about that, Laura. They're still paying the teachers, aren't they? I mean, good God. If they're not, why would any of you be bothering to even teach online with the hell that involves with it? So I want to know. Laura says 92 billion was set aside for the CERB plan, but only 9 billion has been paid out. But that's still 9 billion more to the debt. Yeah, of course it is. Hi, Cindy. But no electricity in the schools or buses. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's not a lot.
No, but they're still saving some money. But do you think they're going to invest that money they're saving back into the education system? No. And you know, the OSSTF, and I guess rightly so, that's the union for the high school teachers in Ontario, they were on the verge of strike. Government was not playing nice in their tactics for negotiating the contract. And now the OSSTF has decided that during this time of crisis that they would accept a contract that basically limited their raise and some other things, which that they might not have had to have done if it was a normal time. And I get it. Yeah, it's very hard to, like, during this time of everything and no school and all that kind of stuff, to be sitting there trying to negotiate a contract. That's really not going to endear you to the general public, for one thing. So I can see the strategy there. But it doesn't mean that in a few years' time, when negotiations come up again, that it's going to be an easy job. They're not, like, the teachers have lost what they might have gained. And they weren't asking for a whole lot either. But of course, you know, the way the politicians...
Yeah, and if you look, the biggest expense that school boards have is teacher salaries.
Yeah, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Teachers are professionals, all right? Went to school for many years to do this. They have a great responsibility. Anybody who thinks...
No, I realize that, but I mean, if they're going to save a whole pile of money, they wouldn't be paying it.
Well, yeah, well, basically they couldn't stop doing that. Well, I suppose it could, but...
Laura says she's got 3 years to go.
Yeah, and I know you're counting it down, Laura. For sure. It just wouldn't be normal if you weren't. Yeah, Bonnie says in New Brunswick the teachers are being paid. Here in New Brunswick, they're taking money and giving any school child without internet or computer, they are supplying it. Supposedly they have some kind of plan in the works in Ontario for that too, but I haven't heard anything more about that. Laura probably knows better, because I'm sort of out of the loop now that I'm retired. But back to the money thing. So yeah, we have good pensions. And every month we get our pension checks. And it's the same as it was before the COVID thing. So yeah, we are in a good situation.
Not only that, we have 2 cars that are both paid for.
Mm-hmm. We have a house that's paid for. Yeah. We don't owe any outstanding balances on credit cards or anything. We owe nobody anything. So we've managed our money well. Unfortunately, our investments are going down the tubes, as everybody's is right now. I am a little concerned about how all of this is going to affect the overall pension plan, because, well, you already heard at your work that...
I already heard that the OMERS plan that I'm a part of is going to, right now my pension's indexed every year according to inflation, and they're changing it so that it may not be indexed, but that's supposedly for future retirees after 2022.
And yeah, so we'll see. But anyways, Andy's asked an interesting question. Do you think people will support the teachers more now that parents have had to homeschool their children during the lockdown? And Laura says most of our parents are lost trying to help their kids. Yeah, you want to know something though? Parents have short memories when it comes to the education system. Right now you hear things on the internet and on YouTube and in the news, you know, and parents are going, oh my God, what, I never realized that teachers had to do all this and went through all of this and blah, blah, blah. Come back to normal times again, or whatever those times will look like. I have a feeling you won't be hearing that as much. The parents have short memories when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm sorry to say.
The same as voters have short
Yeah.
memories.
Laura says, hopefully parents respect teachers more, knowing just how difficult it is to teach 30 kids, never mind 2 or 3 at home. You would hope that, but like I said, I have a feeling, no, they'll forget all about that. Not all of them, but most of them will. Right now, their biggest problem is they got to look after their kids. I don't think they necessarily see it from an educational point of view. I think they see it from a babysitting point of view. Like, oh my God, I'm home all day with these kids. Well, you made them, you put up with them. Yeah, they're your responsibility, but they're used to teachers taking on that responsibility for 6 to 7 hours a day. 5 days a week kind of a thing. You had them. See, you shouldn't have had that second bottle of wine that one night and oh, baby. Surprise, 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 surprise. Another reason why it's good to be gay. Okay? So, what I was saying is, so our food in the grocery stores, all of that's going to go up. It's already going up. Okay? Because, people being, the drivers, the transportation, getting across the border, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. All of our stuff is going to go up in price. And it's going to be a gouge because these companies who are losing so much right now, and I'm thinking of the corporations, I am not thinking of the small little single proprietorships, the little mom and pop stores. I'm not thinking about them when I say this. I'm thinking of the Walmarts in the world, the Loblaws of the world, the Shoppers Drug Marts, the Nordstroms, the whatever out there, the big stores, Target, that kind of thing, or as we like to say in Ontario, Target. They'll be putting up all their prices because for them, they want that bottom line back up to what they were getting before. And how are they going to do that? They're going to have to charge the consumer. So, to say the least, if it isn't already, well, I guess it is right now, we're pretty much might as well say we're in a recession right now, although they don't use the R word that much. But you can bet when we can go back out and stores can open up again and things like that, then the R word's going to come up. And R word just means the D word, depression. There's really little difference between the two. It's semantics. And then we've got things like the services that we do. Restaurants. Yeah, restaurant food already is expensive. So there's no way that's going down in price. Again, they're going to try to recoup their losses. And yeah, I do blame them for that, but it's economics, isn't it? I mean, we have to expect that. What about travel? Yeah, you can bet that Air Canada is already negotiating with the government for a stimulus package, right? Major corporation, they already treat you like crap in this country.
Yeah, I know, I try and phone them.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but they nickel and dime it all. There was a time when you got in an airplane, you could have pretty much as much luggage as you wanted, and it was nothing. It didn't cost you a cent. Now they charge you for your bags and everything like that. Now they have all these different...
for your
seats. They charge you for picking a seat.
Okay.
They nickel and dime you left and right. So if we thought that was bad before all this crisis happened, what's it going to be like after? It's going to be even
the
worse.
airlines, in Australia, you have it good with the airlines there. Like you get all the perks that we used to get.
Yeah. What's this?
I thought it was I died and gone to heaven when I flew in internal flight in Australia, where they actually still serve booze on the flight.
Yeah, so let's see. Chris says, as my husband has, I gotta catch up here, has a work car and I'm not working, we are selling his Can-Am Spyder and our Mazda CX-3 as they are not just sitting around gathering dust. Better not to have the Rego insurance costs. I don't know what the Rego is, but Andy suggests teachers should strike right after lockdowns are lifted. Yeah, they can't do that because
they have a contract.
And there's ways to go through that, but I get your point. Mel says, I'm also happy that I don't have any debt and savings for about 3 to 4 years living, even if I had to live without any other income. Bonnie says, wait till this is over, baby boom. Hospitals will be overrun with deliveries. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Laura says, become a vegetarian. All the beef processing are COVID hotspots.
Yeah, but vegetables are expensive too.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to try to grow some of our own container gardening this year. We can't put it in the ground because the bunnies will eat it. We have too many bunnies. They'll come and eat it. And I'm not going to like chicken wire everything all over the place. Besides, bunnies can get into anything. They're killer bunnies. Don't believe me? Watch The Holy Grail. Monty Python. And Chris says, yeah, they had outbreak and meat processing plant interstate down south. And Chris also says Virgin Airlines here have gone into administration. And Laura says the Vancouver airport laid off 800 employees this week because they anticipate that flights will be reduced for the next 3 years. And he says, I wonder if many people will even have the money to fly in the near future. Well, that's the other thing. And if you want to go on a trip anyways, back to how much this is going to cost us, if you want to go on a cruise, I don't know who wants to anymore, but because we don't, and we've cruised a lot, but not anymore, even after this is over. They're going to be, sure, initial offerings are going to sound great. They're already doing it. Free booze packages, upgrades, things like that.
I keep getting emails. We used to cruise. When we cruised on Celebrity, and that Celebrity has non-stop emails all the time telling me that of all the fabulous deals we can get.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Well, I'm not going on one of those floating incubation.
No, but they are going to try to recoup their losses for sure. And, you know, who's going to pay for it? The consumer, of course.
Chris said Rego was registration.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought that might be what it was, but...
Is it expensive to register your car? In, I figure it's your licensing fees. We have a licensing fee.
Yeah, we have
every
licensing
year
fee.
Of about 120, I think, per car.
Yeah. Chris says we can all just get in the car and drive. Fuel costs here are the lowest they've been in 10 years. That's not going to last.
No.
That's not going to last either.
No.
Right now they are, but no. Everybody's going to be gouging for money. Everybody will be scrambling, and that's going to go on for years, unfortunately. It'll make you wonder what's worse, living in isolation right now, or what?
Not being able to afford to go anywhere.
Yeah, you may be just in isolation again because can't go anywhere out there. That's going to cost too much money, the whole bit. So you know we're going to be paying for all this, and I get that these people are all crying that they're not getting enough money from the government and this and that, at least here in our country and everything. I don't know if these people have not yet figured out that the government does not give you anything for nothing. I mean, for example, my mother, she's in a nursing home. She has a fixed income. Again, my mother's pension, which was leftover survivor pension from my dad, plus what the government gives her in old age pension and in what we call CPP, the Canada Pension Plan that everybody in Canada
everybody that works in Canada.
And that. Well, they've just dropped in, last month they gave her an extra $400 and some odd for just being alive. And now they're upping the OAS payment, the old age security, giving a one-time payout of about $300 per person that qualify for that. And that's anybody over 65 here. Well, what they're not saying is that all that is taxable revenue. My mother already pays over $900 a year in taxes. The woman only brings in about, how much does she bring in? You did her taxes. 35,000? 30,000? Like how much income does my mother bring in a year?
35,000.
About 35,000. And she had to pay 900 and she's in a nursing home. Like she brings in every month about 2,400, something like that, from everything that pays out. She pays over almost 2,200 a month for where she lives, and then she has to pay for her bell and her telephone and her television, which is another 126. And then she has a small medical drug charge. It's very small, like less than $10 usually a month. Out of that, well, it doesn't leave a lot left over at the end of the month. Mind you, she's not going out and buying fabulous clothing and stuff like that anymore, and that kind of thing. But nevertheless, the government still takes away from her almost $1,000 every year. So now they turn around and drop into her lap an extra $700. They will take at least half of that back. So next year, who knows? Her income tax will probably be like something like $1,200 that she'll have to pay or whatever from all of that. So, government doesn't give you anything for nothing. And yeah, I understand they have to recoup the money because you got to keep the country running and that things. But I don't know if a lot of people who are getting these benefits, yeah, they need it now, okay. But there are some people who probably don't necessarily need it right now, but they're taking it anyways because they figure, well, the government's offering, I might as well go for it. Well, I hope they're putting some money aside to pay for the taxes on it because they will have to do that. Yeah, Canada pension's only for people that have paid into it. Yeah, that's right.
I don't understand that.
No, I know.
I mean, no, I meant a Canada pension is for only that you paid into it. You
Yeah.
have to pay into it.
Yeah, you pay into it.
No, but the next one I don't understand.
What's that?
Chris,
Oh, what?
each of you can drive and meet halfway. How? Drive where?
Road trip? At Sherry? Oh, wait. I think it's because we lost the thread here.
No.
And Edith said eventually we will have to fly to Las Vegas to be able to see our son. Not in the near future, but probably next year. So I think that's what that's where it picks it up there. I was just looking at, Laura says, my son is getting the CERB, but I told him to save 30% for his taxes next year. Yeah, which is probably a good idea. But I have a feeling a lot of people don't think of it that way. And then they're going to suddenly have a nice tax bill in a year's time or more. And healthcare, our healthcare system in our province sucks now. Now, when I say that, I would rather have our sucky healthcare here than the healthcare in other countries, i.e. the States, for example. But nevertheless, it's going to go up. And it won't be so much that it's going to go up necessarily directly to us in dollars. It'll be in services that will be cut for them to save money. And they're constantly trying to cut services. And that's what's going to happen in education as well. Those special ed teachers, those special support professionals that are in the school system, they can go bye-bye. They won't be hiring as many of them into the system again. So that's going to cause a lot of problems for the kids.
Yeah, the province is already saying like, okay, we've spent all this money for COVID-19, we're going to have to do major cuts.
Yeah.
Or raise taxes major.
Bonnie says,
or both.
Laura makes good sense. Heard that there were at least 200,000 getting it that don't qualify. Of course there are. Because there are people out there that are pretty greedy as well. And the temptation is there, right?
Yeah, and I suppose it's also the thing as well, somebody else is getting it, why shouldn't I?
So back to what I said at the beginning of all of this. So here we sit. Okay, yeah, we're comfortable, we're okay, we can afford to buy our groceries, we don't have to worry about being unemployed because we're retired, we have pensions and the whole bit. But we still will be paying for all of these government handouts and not getting anything from it, with the exception of the philosophical belief that you're supporting your country and helping out others less fortunate than yourself. Oh, good, your reward will come in heaven. Right. Okay. But that's the way life is. So, Nairi's here. Hi, Nairi. So anyways, there's two other costs, though, that aren't financial that I don't know if a lot of people are thinking about these. Mental and physical, okay? Already heard people have been complaining that are used to going to the gym and all that kind of stuff. They haven't been able to go to the gym for 2 months and they don't know when they'll be able to go back. And they're talking about the COVID-15, you put on 15 pounds. I think that's a little bit light side because all you're doing is sitting around at home all day watching Netflix and eating your bonbons. And stuff like that, or drinking. Yeah, we may have a lot of alcoholics when this all comes out. We're gonna have a lot of people who made babies and are drunk all the time. Could be a lot of problems there. So there's the physical costs. That's going to put pressure on our healthcare system in a new way, because more weight you have, the more chances you have of heart attack, diabetes, all the other things that are related to that kind of thing. And then there's going to be the mental stuff, and people are already starting to go mental. And this one I think is a very serious problem that I don't know if a lot of people have really thought about it. But this whole isolation has taken a real toll on some people who might be a little bit on the edge of mental health. You know, they've been having advertisements on TV from something we have here in Ontario. Well, I think it's across Canada, CAMH, which is, what's that stand for? The Canadian Association of Mental Health. And, you know, they're talking about the fact that they have lines people can call if they're feeling crazy, for lack of a better word, or whatever. Well, I'm surprised we haven't heard a lot about, kind of dark, but suicides right now. You know, especially people who may have mental health problems to start with and maybe living on their own and all that kind of stuff. So that involves an expense as well, both in money and in quality of life too. So I think we may look back on the isolation as the least of our worries in the future, which is kind of not a good thing to really think about because it could drive you nuts on that. I'm just trying to catch up here. Anita says, oh yes, we're going to have to be vigilant to try to do our financial planning for the future, yeah. But you can't plan everything. That's true enough. Andy says, people should get a boxer dog. Mine keeps me active. I go into a coma every night. Is that because your boxer is sitting on your face? I'm really not sure how those two things.
The boxer is
as a dog.
Active.
Okay.
And
but then I go into a coma every night.
She gets tired.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to read between the lines. They were skinny. All right. Laura says, run or walk around your property. I walk around my apartment building when it's not raining. Yeah. And Andy even walks her dog in the rain. And Anita says, my husband is good. He runs every morning and bikes. I walk, but not like he does. And our government, Chris says, has increased its promoting lots of mental health plans at the moment. Yeah, Andy says, thanks, Walter. Thanks for the translation, yeah. And Laura says, I live alone and have mental health issues anyways, but I have tools to work. I do crafts, I cook, I bake, etc., and I still have to teach as it is. Yeah, but there are a lot of people out there that don't do anything. I mean, we exercise, but I never belonged to a gym really. So he did go to a gym,
and I don't know if I'm going back because well, my membership was almost up anyway, and I'm not comfortable going back to mess until this COVID thing is pretty much gone.
Well, I heard
I'm
something.
not going back until this is pretty much gone.
I heard something either yesterday on YouTube or on one of the podcasts I listened to, and someone said, might have been a podcast, said they weren't comfortable going back to a gym because that's where people are spitting and sweating and there's moisture and droplets of stuff all over the place in the gym. So whether you wear a mask or not, and that's true. So yeah, I don't worry about that because I just exercise at home, pretty much always have. So, Anita says, I don't think gyms would be very safe. Yeah, and Laura, Andy says, I have mental health issues too. My Mitzi dog has been a lifesaver. And Chris says, I've not found isolation hard. My life is really not any different than before COVID-19. I can't say as though I have found it really hard, but it's when I start.
Actually, what has been hard, sort of, I guess we're getting used to it, is we always used to say, well, you want to do something today?
Yeah. But then, of course, then we'd say, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do?
I mean, and we did go to restaurant a couple of times.
Yeah.
Once a week or so for lunch or something.
Or we'd go down to the fabric store or other fabric stores and pick out fabric or I'd go to Michael's, or we'd go to Home Depot, or we'd go to the liquor store, or we'd go to the grocery store. So yeah, we went out a lot with it. Plus I had my meetings for my guild and that, and So yeah, but it would be nice. I guess it's just the whole thought of not being able to, like, I'd like to travel again, you know?
I guess when you can't do something, then that's when you want to
Yeah.
do it.
Um, it's free to walk around your neighborhood, Laura says. True. Um, Laura N says, until there's a vaccine, there's a lot of activities people won't do. Yeah. And Andy says, my anxiety goes way high when I have to go to the grocery store. Yeah. Even going down to the fabric store, to the quilt store, when I had to pick up my sewing machine yesterday, I get a little apprehensive about it. Even though
Yeah, actually, we've been ordering groceries, not for delivery, for pickup, but they just dump it in your trunk when you get it. So
yeah. Mel says, I enjoy this time, finally time to rest, make art, crafts, read, etc. It's like a holiday. Yeah. But when you're retired, every day's like that. It's just that now we're more restricted. So as Walter says, if you even though you may not have gone out a lot before, now because you can't, you want to. It's the forbidden fruit. I can't do that now, and all that kind of thing. Well, anyways, we're surviving, right? So we'll just have to survive, and I guess we shouldn't think too far ahead into the future about what life might be like, because when we don't know for sure what the new normal will be, and we'll just get ourselves into a big mental, situation that's not probably good for any of us to do that. So,
Andy, no, didn't see that article about a nurse in Wisconsin who was photographed at a bar just opened up. She wasn't social distancing or wearing a mask.
Well, I could say something about nurses, but I know there's a few on here, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Just to say that most of the time, it's been the nurses that I see outside smoking, and there's also the ones that are saying that they don't believe in getting a flu shot. That's all I'm saying. Not going there anymore. No. Yeah, Anita says no, but I'm not shocked. Okay, so there you go. All right, people, that's our time. So thanks for joining in today on the discussion. As always, if you've got any ideas of things we could talk about, bagged milk seemed to be a bigger discussion than I really thought it was going to be. So maybe Walter can pick up something else that's quirky next week that we can discuss.
Crafty sessions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true too. Actually, just as an aside here, my little art journaling class kind of a thing, we're all we email each other, but every week I try to send them a little printable gift. Like they're all into ATCs, so I make them a set of backgrounds that they can use for their ATCs and that, just to keep my girls happy, kind of a deal. And they're all being very creative, and they share their stuff online, and we all see it. And and the same with the quilting stuff. I belong to several quilting groups. Although I may never quilt again or make anything again because my sewing machine is driving me nuts. I may have to take up something like knitting. I don't know. Less machinery involved in that.
I reason just noticed our beards.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I've thought about a Zoom meeting with the journal class. The problem is if you're a host for a Zoom thing, it costs you money. It's not a lot, but I don't know if I really want to get in on it. It's a subscription kind of a thing. There's probably some other ones out there that you can use as well. There's one called House Party, but it's only for phones, and as far as I know. So, but I have thought about that as well. And you'd want something where you can see the people. You can do like we're doing right now, live, but it's one way. You can see us, we can't see you. I actually thought it might be fun to get the Zoom and tell all of you about that, and we could actually do a Zoom Stephen and Walter Live, and we could see you people, but then again, maybe you don't want us to see you. We're not going to laugh that much, no more than you laugh at us. But, ideas for the future. Yeah, I know Zoom, you can see everybody, because I'm on several Zoom meetings every week, so I know how it works. You can do a free 45-minute session on Zoom here. Yes, yeah, you can. You can do you can here as well. But, I don't know, 45 minutes would be enough. Especially if you're doing a crafting session, I don't think 45 minutes would be enough. Really, I mean, my art journal class is 3 hours long when I do it. So I don't know. Anyways, these are things to think about if we have to carry on with this. And Anita's going to have a new haircut after Friday, and I don't know when I'm going to get up the nerve to have it. So,
Well, actually, we can't right now
what?
get a haircut.
Yeah, I was thinking you cutting mine.
Oh yeah, I don't know when I have the nerve.
Oh,
to do
put that on YouTube. God, no. Oh, that would be disastrous. Anyways, everybody stay safe. Have a good week. Check out my vlog tomorrow. And welcome to anybody that's new to this today. And I hope we didn't scare you away.
Yeah.
And see you next week. Bye-bye.